Hi guys, it's Aegis here. So today I'm here with another deck profile, and this time I will be doing another Megacolony deck profile. It's something that I've been testing, having fun with, and I'm not sure this one deck profile will actually be out or the fight video that will be out first, but probably the fight video. So you will see how fun this deck can be, and with this deck I can finally do the concept that I actually do want to do originally as a backup plan, but now it's my main plan, and you will see very soon. So starter, just anything starter, and then I have 4 gunningcoleo Coleo, which means I'm not going to do anything Gridora related in this build, and you will see the rest of the cards very soon. So gunningcoleo, when he appears on Vanguard circle, you get 5k and 1 drive, and you drop your opponent's top deck, and if it's a grade 3 then you also get 10k and 1 drive, but normally we will just get 5k and 1 drive, so don't worry about that too much. But if you really can drop your opponent's grade 3 or higher, even like their Valkyrie on, then enjoy the 10k and extra drive they can gain. And second skill, by soul blasting a grade 3, you ditch your opponent's deck again, and for if that card is a grade 1, then of course your opponent can get a grade 1. If it's a grade 0, then you can your opponent can get a grade 0. 2 and 3 the same. And the most valuable part is when you use the second skill and ditch a grade 0, so your opponents cannot use basically grade 0 PGs, the predicate shields, and all the triggers. That's the best situation, but even grade 1 is still fine. And then next, I am running for this new card, Destruction Spear Mutant Dova Speed. So this card really helps the deck a lot, I would say. So what it does is, when he appears on Vanguard regular circle, by counter blasting 1, you ditch 2 cards from your opponent's deck to drop zone. As long as they discard a grade 1 or higher from the 2 cards. During the battle with this card, your opponents, when they need to call cards to the Guardian Circle, they need to call out to 2. Yeah, so even just a little punch, they need to give you 2 cards. And if it's too big punch, when they call a PG, they need to drop you another card. So very, very helpful. And this card can, just by counter blasting 1, ditch 2 cards from your opponent's deck is really, really helpful and speed up the whole thing. So I like this card a lot. And then I am still running 3 of the machining stack below, so that if I need Vanguard to be a little bit more powerful, I can. If I want to pull some units out that I need to, then I can. That's why I'm still running stack below. And then I'm running one of Psycho Mantooth. He can get crit, but the problem is he used soul too much. Every single attack of his requires a soul, and you need a soul blast from here, and you might take some cards to recycle here, so there isn't a lot of chances that you can use Psycho Mantooth a lot. But if you need the extra crit, he can probably help you there, as long as you ditch your opponent's grade 1 or higher from top deck to drop with this guy. So it's a little bit random here, and since you can't use Hell Demise to stand it up during battle phase because you are not running any Gridora, so 1 is fine. And even just riding him, you can kind of having a little bit of early rush pressure to try to gain a crit here, and then when you ride on top of it, you can discard one of your opponent's cards and pump your Vanguard, unless they drop a Great Zero or maybe a Quick Shield. But even that, making them discard and ditch the deck is still very, very fun to play. Then I am running 4 of the Machining Mantis for Grave Researcher, because I do want to keep all the gunningcoleo in my hand to keep rewriting until I win. So increasing chances to meeting them is important here, and he can just be a 15k attacker as long as you counter blast when he appears for the turn. So still helpful, very, very nice. Then I'm still running a 3 of the water gang here, just to draw myself more cards, get some target to pull from stack below. You can see my grave freelancers is already here, so I'm not running any health demise, so I won't be able to pull it up suddenly. You probably just need to wait for a turn, but he builds up your soul, so you can still use the skill, without worrying too much. And also I'm running 3 of the killer leaf to draw myself more cards, also ditching my opponent's deck so you can meet your gunningcoleo a little bit easier with more draw power, and he can gain 10k no matter what, so help me to push early damage. To me, I think it's still important. Then other great ones, 4 of the machining hornet. Like Mantis, I want to meet my gunningcoleo with more chances, so I'm still maxing out this Grave Researcher combo. And I am running 3 of the Turbulence Signal. So this card is Cradle Markers related, but he ditches opponent's deck. So his skill is by counterblasting one and retiring this unit is an active skill. Then you ditch the top deck card from your opponent's deck to drop zone, and for each grade on that card, you place that many critical markers on your opponent's regards. Of course, not on the same one. So, if you are facing clans that have units that stay on the field, then you can just place critical markers on their units, and you don't actually need to kill them unless you don't have a target and maybe they are putting in the front row. Then you need like a grade 2, or maybe they are grade 3, then you place it like grade 3 and you hit it, retire it. Then you can also pick yourself a gunningcoleo. But from the games that I used this deck to play against with, my opponents didn't have any regards remaining on the field, so making his effect basically useless. But if you're facing clans that are not going to clean the board, then he can be very useful, because you can search for your grade 3 to write next turn. You can search for your grade 2 parts, grade 1 parts that also leads you to your grade 3s, so you can keep rewriting and also placing critical markers, so make their regards kind of useless. And if they want to clean them, then you get your cards. Then I'm running 3 of the Phantom Black. Is still quite key to the build, because gunningcoleo ditching a grade 0 with the second skill to do guard restriction with this is basically just stop everything. Because your opponents can't call normal units, they can't call grade 0. Normally they just can't guard all your attacks. And with Psychomantive, you can still gain a crit there, so it's still kind of scary. But I'm not using Antlion because I do want to keep my grade 3s for gunningcoleo skill. So yeah, there we are. And then I'm running one of the hopper, just in case if I need to do a little bit of power pump and do some counter charging. But he eats up your soul, which is a little bit against your killer leaf and psychomantive, but one is fine. And sometimes you really need that counter charge there to just maybe even just use this skill, so, or even just search for Mantis. Yeah, so I think one is still fine and can still be helpful. Then for triggers, I am running 7 crits, 5 draws, and 4 heals. I still not a fan of the 30k shield in Megacolony yet. And with this build, you really want to keep your hand size quite big so you can face any kind of attacks, unless a heavy guard restriction that you cannot guard at all, but most of the time you can guard all of them. And the theme of this deck, if you have seen the whole list, and you probably notice, is decking out, deck destruction. So the ratio to ditch your opponent's card is quite large. This ditch 1 to 2 cards, this every time 2 cards, this every time 1 card, this every time 1 card, this every time 1 card, and you keep drawing yourself cards. And these units can all be recycled. Like even if you ride this and then ride a gunning coleo next turn, you can still call your stack below to pull this out to color blast one and ditch 2 more cards. So you always need to look at your opponent's deck. You can play normally with all these and gain a drive, do some guard restrictions, so maybe you pull a crit, you can put it here. Then your opponents will need to keep dropping hands, and you keep searching your grave freeze, keep drawing cards, keep gaining power, keep drawing cards, maybe gain a crit, keep ditching the decks, keep searching your grave freeze, and whenever you hit a grade 0 with this, call yourself some Phantom Blacks, do your discarding, get the 6k, so your opponents basically can't guard everything, so you can play normally, but at the same time, the key theme is to deck out your opponents. So if you are like seeing a clan that likes to draw a lot of cards, then this deck is actually helping you to win, because they keep drawing. You don't need to give them 6 damage to win. As long as the deck becomes 0, they lose. So if they are trying to stay in the long run and you can't find yourself a way to give them 6 damage, but you know that the deck is going to be very very thin, or they will be very thin because they are using XL2 to keep drawing cards, they will like be using Lokier and keep drawing them some cards, or they are using Grand Blue that they will always draw them some cards, all these things, then feel free to just count the decks, see what you can do, and deck them out. Yeah, so the deck is quite simple here, but I think I can show you how I will do some different ride choices right here. So see you in a bit. Okay, so for your Great One ride, you will try to yourself to be a Hornet. If you're going second, of course, Hornet is just swing and search for yourself a Great 3. This is okay to ride, doesn't matter too much because it doesn't require to be on call skill, so even if you ride it, when you pull later with a stack below, you can still use the skill by popping it by kind of last 1, so doesn't really matter. This will probably be your choices. And then grade 2s, simple, this or this. This search your grade freeze. If you can't find one, you can try to draw yourself another card, then maybe place a water gang or 2 to attack and try to protect it. So next time you can counter last one, put this card in. So draw yourself 2 more cards to easily hit your grade freeze. Then when you enter grade freeze, ideal situation is ride. That's basically what you want to do. So you do that, ditch, opponent stack, probably use this, ditch 2, so you can push some early damage, maybe use another Mantis to search yourself another Great Freeze, maybe another one so you can ride next turn, then you ride again, ditch another card, see if you can gain 2 drive and 15k, if not 5k and 1 drive, do that, see if you can ditch your Great 0, if you do, then simply place your Phantom Blacks and try to give a little more damage or even end the game there. And sometimes play this to give some cradle markers, keep calling this to ditch your opponent's deck, keep riding to ditch your opponent's deck. Call this if you want to do a little bit more early damages, then you just keep repeating. Ditch, search, draw, and yeah, that's basically it. Isn't too hard, but you really need to know every card's single skill so you can count your opponent's deck, and make the right choice, because running the deck skill isn't too hard, and actually piloting this deck isn't too hard, but the problem is you need to really know what you're doing, and don't always think you need a free line attack, because you don't need to. As long as you have a gunning coleo, you can draw yourself cards, so you can just be defensive and just do some little deck ditching and search yourself some grave freeze, so you can keep rewriting next turn, have yourself a protect marker, so you can at least have a PG every single turn, and maybe meet more draw PGs in between, and get yourself some defensive cards. Even just triggers can still be very useful for defensive. Find yourself a good moment to go all out and push damage, or even win there. If not, and if you find the game longer than you expected, then try to keep your damages clean, keep yourself some souls, so you can just use like Killer Leaf using the overspeed, and just keep ditching your opponent's deck until they deck out, because they will also help you out to deck themselves out. The Vanguard will do chain drive, some will do triple drive, but normal chain drive. They will draw for turn, so they are cleaning 3 cards from the deck every single turn. Then if you are helping them, another 4 cards here, there's 7 cards from the deck, which is because you will take your starter away. There's 49 decks, 49 cards from the deck, and even just these combos, 7 cards with the hands, so you only need to do it 7 times, even though you can't. But let's say if you do 4 times with these, so 4 cards from here, 8 cards from here, that's already 12, and then you do 3 of these Soul Blast to ditch, that's 15. Then let's say if they are on grade 3 for 2 turns, that's already 6 cards, that's already 21, that's almost half of the deck. And they will still be doing some deck searching, they will still be doing some drawings, and you also still have like Killer Leaf 2 and Cycleman Tooth and this to ditch the deck, so it's not too hard to clean the deck. And if you get yourself some heals, then even you can just ride it and call it, and ride it again, pull this out, or if this one is already in your soul, then you can pull this out and use it next turn. Then you have another card that can ditch your opponent's deck. Yeah, so quite fun, keeping kind of the old style, but I'm taking out the Hell Demise. I'm not using any End Lion, but with overspeed, the deck is actually very fun to play with, still keeping the defensive while speeding up the deck out. So have a try, see if you can deck out your opponents, or maybe just win normally with gunningcoleo Coleo, but you still have 2 ways to win with this deck. And with Dual Speed, you actually improving both. So I'm quite happy with this build, and share me your thoughts about this build. Do you like this, or you like the playstyle of Gritara more? Feel free to let me know. And thanks for watching, guys. I will see you guys in the next video. Signing off.